I'm gonna drop a stream marker here and I'll pull it for you. So this is gonna be me, Kios, explaining some of the tips and tricks I've gathered over streaming past 5 years, from the dirt cheapest of laptops to well, pretty much a pretty insanely competitive setup right now. I'm gonna trust that most of you understand like how to at least set up OBS. I will 1000% of the time recommend you use OBS over any other streaming product. Live, like XSplit, is completely useless. Yeah, what's up, Atlas, Ray, and James, and Alfina, and Trash Buddy? Welcome in, everybody. But yeah, I will 1000% recommend OBS because it is open source, and it is the don't get me wrong, it might be a little intimidating comparative to like Twitch Studio or what's the other one, Streamlabs OBS. I do not recommend either of those. They're horribly inefficient, and they're basically just old versions of OBS with an Electron GUI slapped over it, and they will realistically eat up a fuck ton of power. Yo, what's up, Log? But I'll bring this over here. This should be capturing. You can see right here, I mean, my setup currently is a 3700X and a 3070. My encoding right now is currently set to HNBank, so I'm running my encoding off my graphics card today. I will actually explain that there might be times where it's better to swap your encoding around. We're at 4500 bitrate at 720p, 60 FPS, and I'm using 3% of my CPU. Now, in the background, those of you that have seen this stream and know who I am as a person, okay, I don't want to hear shit. My shit's always pretty much maxed out. And this is just because I'm running like a massive capture and everything in the background. Do not look at the fact that I have 56 instances of Google Chrome open. If you have a problem with that, you can suck a butt. So what bitrate is bitrate is literally what you are putting out. Certain bitrate values are needed to transmit your signal fully without dropping or amending frames. And we should probably do something so this isn't super like wacky. This will work. So if you don't know how this works, let me pull up a bitrate calculator for OBS. So like for me, my upload speed is 900. So let's say you want to do 1080p. It's going to be 1920 by 1080 at 60 frames per second. Let me tell you a little secret. All right, this is a good one. Most streams on Twitch, partnered, non-whatever, they're capped at 6,000. You really can't go over that unless you are like, you know, someone that streams to thousands of people a day, tens of thousands of viewers. The lowest recommended is almost 10,000. No one gets 1080p 60. All right. Now let's be more realistic. I stream in 720p, which is what is it, 1280 by 720? 1280, 720. Boom, look at that. I'm right in this range right here. Now, there is a difference. I'm a partnered streamer. I am guaranteed to have transcoding no matter what, which means whatever I stream at, there will be quality options. You'll see right here, I actually stream on the lower end of my bitrate. Sure, I can crank it up. But the thing is, if you crank up your bitrate, there will be a lot of people with lackluster internet that won't be able to watch your stream. For the most part, I recommend if you are streaming and you have a stable connection, 720p. If you can get 720p 60 at like 4,000 to 5,000 bitrate, go for it. Most people are going to be able to watch that. even mobile users. If you have people complaining, definitely listen to your chat. Then, you know, like right on the fly. Like I used to have to do this for Trash Buddy because his mobile internet was dog shit. He'd be like, Kios, I can't really see stream. You can change this on the fly. And what that's going to do is going to downshift, and you'll notice my bitrate drops a little bit. You might get a little buffer on your end, or a little bit of clunk clunk, but it'll still be here. For me as a speedrunner, FPS has always been more important than resolution. I've never heard anyone come into my stream and complain, man, I really wish this was in 1080p. Meanwhile, I've definitely seen people say, yo, can you change the resolution? Like, I can't watch the stream. Or especially with speedrunning near, where literally your run is invalid if you don't have 60 FPS and a frame counter. I want to make damn sure that I'm getting every single frame in there. All right. Anyone else have any questions? Because we'll probably tackle audio next. There is one thing. Look, I'm not the most successful streamer, but I can tell you one thing. No one likes watching streams with shitty fucking audio. If you come into a stream and it sounds like garbage, how long are you going to sit there for? Maybe 5-10 seconds until you're like, all right, this is literally unwatchable. And congrats on Affiliate Ray. Log, how are you? This is now me asking chat, do you have questions about bitrate, about anything else that you see or I've displayed here? Almost accidentally clicked out of OBS. Idiot! Don't look at my actual work schedule calendar. Really? We got nothing? God damn, Kios, you're just so informative. You've completely stunned all the viewers into silence. Why OBS over slobs? Easy. This is newer. This is OBS 27.0.1. Slobs is probably still running on like 25 or 26. Slobs is literally just OBS bogged down with a bunch of, well, it's older version of OBS bogged down with a bunch of Streamlabs bullshit on top of it. And then it's also less efficient with a fancier UI. OBS has done a lot of work. Their stuff is open source, but literally the biggest thing for people is like, I don't know where to get my stream key and stuff. I can automatically connect my Twitch account. That's it. That's the most annoying part of setting up OBS. But like literally just look at all these available hotkeys I have. I have stuff hotkeyed everywhere. You have all these advanced settings for encoding, recording, output. A lot of people don't even know about this. If I want to get really, really tricky, I can actually send out using digital audio cables 2 audio paths. Like I could be playing DMCA non-compliant music during stream, and as long as it doesn't get caught live, we'd be fine because it's not recording to the VOD track. You can split what records out of OBS. Slobs doesn't do that. Twitch Studio doesn't do that. It's also handy for a lot of times if I'm like restreaming a marathon. Yo, what's up, DTG? It's really handy. Just trust me on this. It may be intimidating to learn. I promise you, it's better. Show me any streamer with any setup that is getting this kind of number of CPU usage out of anything that's not OBS. I mean, I'll show you. I'm encoding on my GPU right now. 8%. Ooh, we're up to 20 because, you know, I just spiked a program open. It is absolutely 100% the best option. What did you want to know about VTubing, Althena? Because I don't do much of the creation stuff, but I mean, I'm familiar at least setting up VTube Studio and how I capture my model and stuff like that. That'll be our bonus content. I'll explain how I've set up a Stream Deck if you have one. I know some people do, some people thinking about it. I still, look, I love my Stream Deck, but I'm telling you, it's not capturing the model. So I capture mine actually as a game capture. Where is it? VTube Studio, because it's technically a game. I run this with a filter. My character has green and purple, which basically eliminates the ability to use a green screen because it just washes out all of the green. So I had to set a custom background for mine in red, open up filters, and I'm in chroma key. And my key color actually is blue. Don't ask me how this works, okay? This is just, you try it until it works. And I had to tweak a lot of the settings, but I'm actually capturing through an iPhone X. I bought look, iPhone has IR camera. I'm not an Apple fan. I actually am a fan of nothing. But with the current version of VTube Studio, you can actually connect your iPhone or Android. It just doesn't track as well because of the IR filter via USB. I used to actually do mine through Wi-Fi. I'm not going to go into that because you'll see my IP address and y'all can't have that. Leave me alone. But that is capturing from my phone, which I actually, let me see if I can do this. Well, speaking of remote technology, do we have this? Where is, okay, yeah, it's ready to go. Yeah, it's very difficult. Take 5 minutes to fuck around with it, Atlas. I'm gonna open an app on my actual, like, the phone I use called DroidCam OBS. Okay, so this is how I have right here. My microphone is right here. And the face tracking is right here, like literally. Just like I think it's like 15 bucks. It's an adjustable mount, but it's basically made out of like bike lock. This like actually takes some pretty serious effort to kind of maneuver it, but it's nice because it can kind of it's literally resting in air. So, something like that. Yeah, it does have native transparency as well, A button. The issue for me is that my character has green hair, so it's a little rough. I had to change the background for it. Help you with setup and transferring out of slobs. Export your files. Here, I'll get rid of this. Stop. You'll have something like this, a scene collection, and then just literally export. It'll export as a JSON file. For those of you that are really into stuff, I have a bunch of things set up. This is my main, like, personal stuff. I have stuff for the Questing for Glory marathon because it's a different setup. Same thing with the Final Fantasy Relay, just straight capture, and another marathon I'm running. You also have profile here. I have multiple profiles built into this because I do some restreaming for Questing for Glory, etc., etc. How much is an arm like that? 15 bucks. Hold on. I was just gonna pull it up on Amazon, but y'all will see too much. Left inside the mailbox. If you get bored, can you check the mailbox and see if I have a fucking stepper motor jammed into it? Might fit, but I'm pulling it up. Atlas. This was $13 on Amazon. The clamp is not adjustable. For leap motion, to be honest, the best thing I'd recommend is just like taping it to yourself somehow, or like affixing a pendant, basically, or just clip the thing to your chest. That's what seems to work, and then run it in reverse mode. Yeah, I know a lot about 3D models. I have one I've never used, and now I have this new 2D model. I'm like, well, if I want a 3D one, it has to match, and that's like a $600 bill I don't want to pay unless I can get a bunch of 3D print commissions because I'm tired of spending money. But yeah, I have screwed around with Leap Motion Controller. For those of you that don't know that it exists, if you are ahead of your game, all right, don't pull up anything weird. Did you know that VTube Studio has its own Trello? And they are potentially looking into adding Leap Motion support. You already have 4 arms. But some of these things may be coming. It's always good to keep an eye on this stuff, just so you know. Oh, and thank you for the follow, super appreciated. But yeah, I got a basic ass, I think it's an iPhone XR that, if y'all look closely, is actually cracked in the top corner. But as long as the Face ID works, that's all you need. If the Face ID works and at least the screen works, you can make it work. As far as I know, I don't think there are any Android phones that are coming out with IR filter, but I'm not sure. But yeah, VTube Studio is really cool. I used to use a program called PRPR Live, which works with PNG files because I was a PNG tuber for a while. It was a fully functioning model, but it was basically layers the PNGs over each other. Did you need anything more than that, Alfina? Also, Ray, just literally, like I said, export your scene collection from slobs. You should be able to export it as a JSON and then literally go open up OBS, import, and you'll be able to import your JSON. I forget where I backed my stuff up to. Yeah, right here. Actually, practice what I preach. Back it up. OBS backup. There it is. I update it like once a week. No, literally, like, look at how many scenes I have. I have so many scenes some of y'all will never see. Yeah, how about this bad boy? I have so much stuff hidden in here, and this is trimmed down from 5 years of streaming, so. Is that all covered, Alfina? Shall we move on to our next topic? Now, so when you export your scenes like that, it'll grab all of these, and it'll take with it all the assets and stuff as well. Because what a JSON file is basically... what's the best way to describe this? If you're familiar with like the concept of like taking an Excel spreadsheet, oh my Christ, an Excel spreadsheet and paring it down to what's called a CSV file or a comma separated value file, you're basically getting rid of all the formatting, all the bullshit, all the everything, and you're just using commas to separate one bit from another. It's JSONs are basically like a blank template. It just is a direction that tells you this thing goes here, this thing goes here. It doesn't carry any of the files with it, and as long as you don't change your file paths, everything's fine. It's literally just like, imagine a template. It is a template that you'll be able to fill right back in. There are a lot of inexpensive mics, to be honest. I used to stream and still actually use a Snowball. If we want to talk about audio, now is a great time. My audio setup is hella expensive. You do not need it, I promise. I've operated my stream off of a Snowball and a Yeti and every cheap little thing previous. Current setup is probably about $700 plus or minus. It's a Shure SM7B with a PV6BT and a FET head. You don't need a cloud lifter, just get an inline fucking amp like a FET head. It's less obtrusive, less power. But look, here's the important part of this. Even with a Snowball, you can still have great audio. It's really about what you do. Yo, what's up, Dad? So like, I'm just gonna turn off all of the things here. So my noise gate is now turned off, and I'm gonna turn off compression on my mixer. And I'm going to put my gain back to where it normally sits. Two really important things that you can do to instantly improve your stream audio is take a look at where I have this, okay? Desktop audio is the background music, anything that is coming out of my computer sound-wise that I want to broadcast is gonna end up in two places. It's either gonna end up in the Elgato, which I have muted currently because it's not active, or desktop audio. This is actually running a little on the low side tonight, and it's probably just the track. Optimally, I want it sitting kind of right around here. You'll notice the desktop audio, even when it's peaking, is just below the yellow. And when I'm speaking, it's in the yellow box. So that's gonna project me above the audio, but it's not gonna be blaring. Now, the two important things you have are compression, which I'll turn on right now. You'll notice I'm a little bit softer, but it's also more level. It's less peaky. The way compressors work are, it detects the incoming decibel of your noise, and it basically normalizes it. You set the threshold of a compressor. There's so many better ways to explain this, but the threshold that I used to run with the old Yeti is any audio that was over negative 18.5 decibels would be cut down at a rate of 20 to 1. So basically what that does is it starts chopping the audio and the input level, letting some of it pass through, but not all of it. The other thing is a proper noise gate. Isolating your own sound is very, very handy. With a setup like this, the SM7B is what's called a dynamic microphone, which means it needs to be powered, but it also does not, it doesn't have as big of a field of detection when it comes to sound. So it's way less sensitive than your standard like Yeti or Snowball or, your what I would call the $100 mic range. Microphones that are like USB powered, that don't need a preamp or a mixer or a channel strip. Those are still great microphones. I use one when we're cooking for the cooking streams, and you can tell the difference, obviously. But I also have that microphone set up to detect noise and sound in an entire room, whereas this microphone is literally set to detect a foot in front of my mouth. That's it. Like any sound behind it, like I have to make an incredible amount of noise behind the microphone for it to pick up the way I have this set up. Literally do your best to keep your microphone audio within this range. All right. Even a basic ass compressor on this will prevent you from getting like red bars and peakiness and stuff like that if you're prone to it. The other thing is a noise gate. I like to keep a 6 decibel range, but I change the attack, hold, and release time. I like having things very glidey. If you look at the audio and the microphone here, you'll notice when I stop talking, it just slowly comes down. Literally just try it, Atlas, until you're comfortable like figuring out what you want it to pick up and what you don't want it to pick up. Like I said, I prefer to have it kind of very gently slide shut, because otherwise you get this clip, 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 and it just like, it's like someone slamming a door shut on your audio, and it just feels very jarring and awkward. I've worked with bad mics, right? Just trust me, try and do your best with it. A little bit of compression, a little bit of a noise gate. Like I've seen people work magic with those like $20 newer mics, or newer, or whatever they are. They're not fucking great, but you know, anything is better. The other thing I can recommend, like, trust me, this is like not the greatest thing ever, but for $25 for a USB mic and an arm mount, you're gonna be better than any headset mic that fucking exists on the market. Hey Alfina, when we edit this, can you take my how good are you at blurring images and videos? 'Cause I realize it's the second time I've opened Amazon and just kind of like left my shit out there. I'm fucking, oh well. Come and find me and fight me. Trying to keep an eye on our time here. I want to wrap this up in like 15-20 minutes if possible. I don't fucking know. Anyway. But yeah, basically just set your noise gate to what makes you comfortable. I like it to kind of slide closed. It's very jarring when you hear it. Like if you close your noise gate too quick, you'll hear this like of it just like kind of squelching shut, and it just bothers me. But definitely play with it. If you're interested in like upgrading your technology for your stream or whatever, like microphone's a great place to start. The one thing that I do that probably not a lot of other streamers do is I also run my audio bitrate out at about double what everyone else does. For me, sound is more important. Particularly, like, I'm a speedrunner. I'm used to people lurking and not actively watching what I'm doing. So the best thing I can do to help facilitate and, you know, grow and keep an audience happy is make sure my audio sounds good all the time. You know, I've literally spent the most money besides the computer on the audio setup. So I let that shine. All right. Anything else, Alfina? I don't even know if she's here. It's all good. She's gonna have to fix me blasting my address all over the internet. I have no idea what that is. I will tell you immediately that's probably a Chinese manufactured condenser USB microphone. Basically like the same damn thing. Yeah, it's like the same damn thing. It's a USB condenser microphone. Honestly, the biggest thing to help increase your audio, at least in my opinion, is just have like even a simple $10 microphone arm like this, you'd be surprised. Like if you have like a Snowball or a Yeti that sits on your desk, or a desk mic, you'd be surprised how shitty the audio is and how much of a difference you'll notice just elevating it. Like tapping on your desk, and desks are a hard surface, so sound will bounce off of it. It's gonna sound pretty cruddy because you're speaking into the mic, but you're also, all the hard surfaces around that microphone that are just sitting on a desk are also gonna rattle and bounce back into it from behind, the sides, everywhere. Isolating your sound is perfect. How do you recognize burnout and how can you motivate yourself to keep on streaming? It comes down to you. Are you having fun streaming? If not, just fucking don't. Put your energy elsewhere. You're talking to someone that's 30 years old, has a job that he actively hates right now, and you know, streams incredibly challenging things every night. I've been walking the line of burnout very, very, very tiptoey for the past about 2 years straight. But here we are. My biggest thing is I'm a stubborn piece of shit, and generally nothing really stops me when it comes to just doing shit like this. But yeah, there's your super cheap trick of the night. If you don't have like even the shittiest of microphone arms, spend the $10 on it. It's worth it. I promise you it's worth it. The big thing is it isolates your microphone, which is good. That means you don't have sound or refracted sound interfering with your capture. But burnout's really easy to recognize, generally because you just become tired and complacent and you don't really care. It's pretty easy. That's how I feel about my job right now. Tired, I don't care. Hope the place burns to the fucking ground. Next caller. Never focus on numbers. You'll drive yourself nuts. Seriously, stop worrying about numbers. Just don't. You will drive yourself insane chasing numbers that are just unrealistic. All right, chat. Any other questions? This is a no judgment zone here. Unless Roy's in chat, I will judge Roy all the time because he's a Nelly bottom. If you are wealthy enough to afford a Stream Deck, hit me up about that. I can tell you the wonders of how incredible this thing works. If you don't have the money to buy a Stream Deck but still want to have some sort of functionality, look into something called Stream Puppy. One of my buddies, InstaFluff, created it. It's basically like a Stream Deck but for your phone, which is super, super handy, especially for me. I'll bring this back up. Just because I have all of my like model stuff keyed to it, which is really nice. So my Stream Deck is hella complex. People think, oh, like I have the 15 button version. I can do 15 things. False. Folders and folders. Gaming. The big thing for me is I have a lot of automated commands here that I can just blast out whenever I want. The cool thing with OBS stuff is if you look at how I have these set up, these are multi-action buttons. So I have it set to change scene and open near automata. With my casual stuff, changes scene, creates a stream marker, so I can easily start clipping and exporting my VODs, and then open the profile. So that's super handy for me, to be honest. Makes keeping track of stuff a lot easy. I have my hotkeys for VTube Studio there. I have Stream Start, which launches all of my shit. Night mode, open live splits, viewer count, and then hot toggles for Elgato and microphone capture. Multimedia button, marker, and create a clip. Pretty handy. Again, not necessary for streaming. Like, you can live without a Stream Deck. I lived without a Stream Deck for 4.5 years. But I started working heavily on exporting a lot of my content to YouTube, just for backup and, you know, having a way to passively grow the community and stuff like that while I'm busy working my ass off. So a stream marker is like here. I'll drag this over here. So a stream marker is how I create all of my VODs for export. So let's just pull up a stream. Clips and stream markers. So for me, when I'm going to pull this stuff to YouTube, I'm specifically looking for a stream marker. None there, but let's grab, all right, so stream marker right here. This should roughly be the start of whatever I'm streaming. This looks like, this should be like the second part of DMC. Going to be Devil May Cry, Apology Definitive Edition featuring Dante from the Devil May Cry series HD, Shin Megami Tensei 3 remaster on PS5 for Xbox One. Part 1. Cool. And then when I'm done, let's hit the stream marker again. That automatically flags like, hey, I'm done. So I immediately know like, hey, I can trim this down to right here and then finagle a little bit, make sure like it's not cutting in at a weird spot. Like, hey, this is part 1, highlight it. And then we have this, and then this goes directly, you know, export out to YouTube. Gets to YouTube, I add the tags, add it to the YouTube playlist, throw the thumbnail over it, and it's good to go. Again, that just is what makes it super easy for me and is comfortable with my production. What's up, Ashy? But yeah, these are all tools that are there for you. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's one of those things like, yeah, I probably put in a lot of time backlogging my content and cataloging it and throwing it up to YouTube. And to be honest, I think I've gained maybe 3 or 4 new viewers consistently from it. Like, that doesn't sound like a lot, but to me, that's awesome. Because if people are finding my content while I'm not actively streaming, that's invaluable. At least I'm not saying it's going to work for everybody, but, you know, it's a good thing to kind of backlog some of your important content. I mean, for those of you that are unfamiliar with it, I'll bring this over here. Like, if you've ever missed, like, since I started doing this earlier this year, if you've ever missed a stream, chances are it's probably here. There should be more in here. But this has been a great way to backlog and catalog our stuff, all my PBs. Oh yeah, this is missing a lot of stuff. Where are all of my Nier Automata speed runs and stuff like that? Actually, some of that stuff I don't think exists. But, I mean, we have all of this stuff that's cataloged. Again, you know, 15 views. It's nothing crazy. But it's handy. It's there. It's more easier to watch a YouTube video than it is to troll through Twitch VODs. Trust. 114. It's because we're wrecky. But you never know what's going to take off. Like, I'll flip this. This is an old-ass speedrun. I don't know where it's being mirrored to, but this is a horrible time. It's an old speedrun I did once, and it has 5,000 views. You'd be surprised how many people come and check this shit out. 5 dislikes on a speedrun. Whatever. Eat my ass. But you never know what ends up taking off. But it's good. That content there generates, you know, 10, 15, 20 views every 24 hours, every 48 hours. So it's a passive way to bring new people into your stream. Yo, what's up, Dub? How are you, dude? It's back in the right spot. That was fabulous, right? Yeah. Haters gonna hate, dude. But yeah, any other like general questions about streaming, setup, OBS, audio settings? I forgot to put my gain back, so this should bring us up into what I call the warm zone, where you know, I'm just hitting right in the middle, and at my absolute loudest, we're just touching red, so I can back this just a little bit. There we go. Do you ever stream CDs? Occasionally. Have you, oh, it depends though. Have you gone shopping at Aldi's? Aldi's nuts in your mouth, Curtis.
Fuck me! But I don't want so good either.
I'm out of
Oh,
here.
jeez. I smashed all of the wrong buttons. Oh, God. I've created a mess. Oh, oh, God. Everything's gone pear-shaped. That's how awful that was. Anyway. You can if you want. Just know that it's gonna take a little time to do it and get comfortable. Hey, yo, passive income except for streaming. It's free real estate. Yeah, I don't make any money on it. Gold splits all day? Maybe. Like Mike Jones, back then they didn't want me. Now I'm here, they still don't want me. They're just more quiet about it. But yeah, unless y'all got any questions, it's like almost 7:30. We should probably just start taking some runs for 15. No, I am Catbug. Yo, thanks for the host, Dono. How are you, dude? More 14 today. Yo, thank you much. Telling you, on Beat Street. Oh, there you go. That's some good shit. Oh, but yeah. Also, learn to use your goddamn filters. Like with closed caption and stuff like that. There are a couple ways to do it. Where did I put these? Learn the difference between color key and chroma key, I promise. It'll help. Chroma key is more for green screen effect. Color key is to remove specific colors. Makes a big difference. Hey, by the way, Alfina, Muxy has just been absolutely fucked. I know you're not even here, but that's just what I get. See if reloading helps us at all. See if logging back in helps. That's a real good look, Muxy. Muxy is a ticker program that I use to keep track of a lot of things like the recent subscriber, etc., etc. But it looks like Muxy is just eating shit right now, so. My cat's an asshole and doesn't like to be touched unless he gives you the go-ahead. He's a dingus.